Hey everyone, thank you so much for joining us today. Please remember to stay muted, and if you have any questions, we can type those into the question box. It is an absolute privilege today to introduce to you my wonderful coworker, Debbie. Debbie, take it away.
Hi, I'm Debbie Knapp. I'm the equipment coordinator for Focus, and I'm here to go through the Focus equipment grant application process with you. So I'm just going to share my screen and get started. Hopefully you can all see this.
Yes, Debbie, we can see it. You can make it full screen.
Excellent. So we wanted to make the process as easy as possible. So we're just going to go step by step through our equipment grant application. First off, I felt that you should know who we provide grants for. Focus provides grants for children with developmental and physical disabilities who would benefit from the equipment to support participation in daily life. So we don't do for extra things, we do for daily living. We have a robust equipment program with actually 3 different sections. The first one is our loaned library, where you can get equipment such as feeding chairs and conveyed strollers and upsees that we have in stock, and we can loan them to you for the cost of $25 of a usage fee, and you can keep them for as long as they help your child. We also have a beach wheelchair program where we lend out beach wheelchairs to be taken to the beach or the pool or wherever you want to take them for up to 2 weeks. Applications for that can be found on our website. And then what you all came here for today about our equipment grant application program. Before you begin, you should know that we do have an age and income requirement. We only help children through age 21. So they must be 21 or younger when you apply. And our income level is 300% of the welfare income. And we have that on our website and on the application. And when we get to the request form, I will remind you of that. We do have requirements for our vans. If you are applying for a lift for a van or a tourney seat, the van has to have less than 90,000 miles on it. And if you are applying for something like a stair lift to be put into your home, you do need to own your own home. We cannot put them in rentals. We do have a lifetime limit for our grants of $10,000 per child. That can happen with one grant, or it's possible to put together and apply different years for different grants. Once you reach $10,000, unfortunately, we can't help further because we want to help as many families as we can. Our deadlines for our grant program happen 4 times a year. This information is going to be on the application, but I did want to mention our deadlines are February 15th, May 15th, August 15th, and November 15th for completed applications. You turn them in, and our equipment review committee meets soon after this time to make their decisions. Our time frame for getting a grant is not the fastest. Once you apply and get approved, it usually takes around 6 months to get that grant. It can take longer, and hopefully it takes faster, but we have to find the money from funders in order to make your grant possible. I wanted to share with you what we provide grants for. We provide grants for van lifts, ramps, and behind the vehicle lift systems, transport style wheelchairs as a manual backup, for example, conveyed strollers. If you're requesting a primary wheelchair, you should first go through your insurance or Medicaid because they will usually do this for you. If you have a problem with them, you will need a denial letter to apply for us. Activity chairs, such as tumble forms and special tomatoes, do require an insurance or Medicaid denial letter because they are also often approved through those funders. Materials for ramps for home access, we will provide for the materials, but not the installation. Stair lifts, patient care lifts, again, an insurance or Medicaid denial letter is a necessity for those. And then custom bath equipment that is not covered by insurance or Medicaid. Next, I have included here just to help out what we do not provide grants for, such things as adapted car seats, therapy, exercise equipment, hospital beds, medical equipment, computers or augmentative communication systems, hearing aids, glasses, home modifications, for example, construction in bathrooms, standers, and gait trainers and walkers. A lot of these are covered by Medicaid and insurance, or there are other places out there that will do funding for these options. How do you get an application from us? We have an equipment grant request form on our website. This will ask you several questions, including about income, and send it to me. And if you are eligible, I will send you the application. So what do you need to do? You visit our website, which is focus-ga.org. You select how can we help you? You scroll down and click on equipment for everyday life. And then you click on the equipment grant request form and fill out that form. I will tell you we are changing our website in the coming months, and hopefully it will be even easier when you go to our equipment page to find the equipment grant request form, but it should be pretty easy on our new site. When you are filling out the equipment grant request form, it is going to ask about income. We do have our limit, like I mentioned before, but we do have exceptions to every rule. So if you have a reason you think that you're an exception to that rule, include it in the form information and get it back to me, and then I will see what I can do for you to try to help. Grant applications should be emailed to you within 48 hours of turning in that form. So now let's get down to the nitty-gritty of our form. So the first page of the form that you will get, the application form, is an overview. It basically thanks you for applying, gives you the deadlines we talked about. The important thing here, I would say, is this grant request checklist that I will be going over in a second. It will help you as you're going through to make sure you have everything completed in order to turn it in. It also has our address here for filling in and sending us your application. You can also email your application to me as well. Before you begin, I suggest you collect what you'll need. You will need a photo of your child because it makes it more personable. Our committee likes to see what your kid looks like in order to do the grant program. Your letter of medical necessity. It's page 7 you'll see of the application in a few minutes. It has to be completed and signed by a doctor or therapist. So it's good to know you need that done before you can fill out the entire form. A current tax return, or a supplemental security income form, or a supplemental nutrition assistance program eligibility form. Please remove any social security numbers from these items. We don't need your social security number for any reason, and to keep it safe. But we do need one of these 3 letters in order to confirm your income. And the last thing you need to get is a vendor equipment quote. This is for the piece of equipment you are asking for. So if you're looking for a van lift, we have a number of companies out there that will help you do a quote. Right off the bat, I would say AMS Vans or Mobility Works. If you're looking for something like a Conveyed stroller, you can go online, or your therapist can help you figure out where to get a quote for that. we need it in order to know how much the equipment's going to cost, and when we go to order it for you, to know the exact specifications of what you're asking for. So if you have these 4 things ready when you start to fill out the form, the rest should be a piece of cake. So what's on the form? Page 2 asks you for your child's information, such as name, address, date of birth, diagnosis, name of school. The family information asks you your relationship to your child, parent, guardians' names. The important ones to look at here is, do you own or rent your home? This is important because we cannot put stair lifts or other permanent items into a rental home. And then we ask for your EMC provider because often we get grants from electric companies for our families, and it's helpful for us to know what provider you use because we might be able to get you help through them. Page 3 asks employment information and then goes into the household income. And here you can see at the very bottom, the annual income percentage chart. Over here on the right-hand side, it's highlighted what our caps are for our income, depending on how many people are in your home. Again, if you have extenuating circumstances, if you will explain that to me in your request form, we will do what we can to go to bat for you. Page 4 is your equipment request form. It basically is asking what type of equipment you're requesting and why you're requesting it. This doesn't have to be so thorough because you're going to get into it in your letter in just a few minutes. It also wants to know if you've received assistance from us in the past or from anybody else, and where you're looking to get help for your equipment. Page 5 is any additional information you believe would be beneficial. So this is your chance to say, I have this extenuating circumstance. I need help because of A, B, and C. It also asks where you learned about the Focus Equipment Program and for insurance information, and if your child uses a wheelchair, for wheelchair information. Page 6, the top only needs to be done if you are looking for something for a van. If you're not looking for something for a van, you can just leave the top of that blank. Optional is the ethnicity question. We don't use it in making our decisions, but oftentimes some grantors and funders ask for our demographics and diversity, and this is how we show them that we are serving a diverse population. Okay, next up we have page 7. This is the letter of medical necessity. This is the page that needs to be filled out by a therapist or a doctor. It needs to be specific about equipment requested. This is oftentimes, and I'll use conveyed strollers as the example, that they will give us the specifics, what size it needs to be, what specifications it needs. In order for us to get the right thing for your child, we do need this form filled out completely, and it needs to be done by a doctor or a therapist. So this is the one that I suggest getting done before you even start to fill out the rest of the form. Page 8, this is your chance to address the committee, to advocate for your child and the requests that you're looking for. So, dear committee, I need this for my child because of A, B, C, and D. This is how it will help us. This is how it will make life better. The more information you give me, the more I can share with the committee. At the bottom, it does remind you to email or mail a recent photo of your child that we will use for the committee. And now we get to the last one. This is the consent to disclose information. The top half of this form, we really need your consent to share some information with our funders. Oftentimes, in order to get a grant funded, we go to our donors and we do share some information with them so they know who they're helping. It doesn't include last name or other identifying information. The bottom is where you authorize or do not authorize us to be able to use your child on websites and social media and promotional materials that we might use to try to get grants and help fund other things for our program. So this needs to be filled out and signed as well. And once you get all of that done, you have completed our application. And I wanted to one more time remind you how to get an application. You have to fill out that equipment grant request form on our website, and then I will be able to send the application to you. And here I just included again how to get to that application, to that request form. And you should get it. Usually I get them out pretty fast during the workday if I get them, but within 48 hours, you should get it. Now what? Once you have your completed application, what do? You email me with the application or mail it by the deadline, and then you have to wait for a decision. I usually have the committee meet within a week or two of the deadline, and as soon as I get the committee to meet and they make a decision, I very quickly email notifications out to families. Hopefully you'll get some good news, and at that point you'll be on our wait list for funding, and hopefully you'll get the much needed equipment that you are looking for. If you have any questions, now is the time. I'm happy to take some questions, and I'm also including my email address and phone number if you have further questions later on down the line.
Debbie, thank you so much for walking us through that application. That answered, I think, a lot of questions for a lot of us to get this application and go through it. If anyone has any questions, please ask those questions in the chat box so that Debbie can answer them. On a separate note, Debbie, I really like it when our families allow us to share their children's equipment photos, because I love seeing our children get the equipment and see it in use, and I really like seeing those photos.
I agree.
We can give it a few more minutes to have any questions come through the chat box. And then otherwise, if you have any other further questions, you're welcome to reach out to Debbie through her email address. And then you can also give our office a call.
Maybe I did such a thorough